Hey, welcome everybody. Here we are replaying the 2016 New York Mets season. It's June 16th. We're at Citi Field in Flushing, Queens, New York. It's going to be the Pittsburgh Pirates visiting the Mets. And for the Pirates, it's going to be the pitcher on the mound is Juan Nicasio, and he won 10 games with a 4.50 ERA in 12 starts. And for the Mets, it's going to be Big Sexy, 15 game winner with a 3.43 ERA in 33 starts. So we're going to get started right away, and it's going to be Josh Harrison. Now we are using Strat. This is game, by the way, this is game 64. We're using Strat Basic. I played 64 games with Strat Advanced, but I'm going to switch back to the Basic. I really enjoy the Basic. It's kind of really simple, and the games turn out real nice. So I'm writing in the defensive number players. I really like playing the National League. I'm really getting proficient at double switches. I really think that's a very powerful part of the game in the National League, something that you don't get in the American League. I hope that doesn't change. Nicasio's defense is a 3. And for the Mets, we are filling out the numbers. Cologne is a 1. He's a very good defender, believe it or not, even though he's almost 300 pounds. 5'11 and 300 pounds. But he's an outstanding defender. The Mets had Granderson and right. The shortstop in 2016 was Cabrera, who was a 2 at shortstop, so he still had pretty decent range. He lost that range in 2017 when they moved him to second base and then to third base. Cespedes is in center. He's a 3 center fielder. Walker batting fourth is the second baseman with a 3 defense. Conforto is playing left field and he's a 4. He's batting fifth. Wilmer Flores a 4 at third base. So the Mets don't have much of a defense. James Loney is a 3 and he's batting 7th. Batting 8th is Rene Rivera, pretty decent at a 2. And then it's Cologne with a pitcher, his own pitcher batting card. He did hit a home run in 2016 against James Shields in San Diego. So let's get started right away. Here's the pitch from Cologne. And it's a 2-4. A 2-4 is a ground ball to the third baseman, Flores. Over to first, 1 away. Polanco, 2-6, and that's a strikeout for Cologne. So 2 quick outs here for Cologne. And it's a 5-3 off Cologne's card, and that's going to be a ground ball first base X. And that's a 2. And Loney is a 3, and that's going to be a ball that gets past Loney into the outfield. And McCutchen is on at first with a single. Now, McCutchen had a down season in 2016. He batted .256 with 24 home runs. Usually hits 24 home runs with a 300 average or close to it. And McCutchen is a base stealer, so he's not going to be going. And it's a 1-8. A 1-8 is a ground ball hit hard right at Asdrubal. He flips to second for the force and the third out. The Pirates lead 1. And at the end of half inning, it's no score. All right, so we're going to go to, let's get this to the right side here. The way we played it in the last series. And it's going to be Juan Nicasio against Curtis Granderson. Now, I'm keeping tabs on 4 players, keeping the stats for 4 players and the record, and that's all I'm doing. I'm going to try to have those available to me as I go. Let me tell you, one of the players I'm keeping tabs on is Granderson. And Granderson is batting .235 with 12 home runs and 25 RBIs. Now, in the season, he batted .237 with 30 home runs and 59 RBIs. So here's the pitch to Granderson. It's going to be off Granderson's card, a 2-10, and that's going to be a 6 split die, and that's laced into the gap. And cutting it off quickly is the center fielder, McCutchen, and he gets it in, and Granderson is on with a double. So Granderson on at second is going to be Asdrubal Cabrera. Let's see. Cabrera's batting .282 with 9 home runs and 27 RBIs. And Cabrera batted .280 with 23 home runs and 62 RBIs. We're almost at the halfway point. There's about 14, 15 more games to go before we hit, or a little bit more before we hit the halfway mark in the season. That's a 5-7. That's going to be off Nicasio's card. A 5-7 is going to be a split die 17 line drive base hit. And around third comes Granderson. Here's the relay, and he's safe underneath the tag. So an RBI single by Cabrera. And Cabrera's on at first with Yoenis Cespedes. We are also keeping track of Cespedes. Let's get him out here. Cespedes is batting .235 with 12 home runs and 25 RBIs. In the season, he batted .280 with 31 home runs and 86 RBIs. So here's Cespedes with Cabrera on at first, and nobody out here in the bottom of the first inning. It's 1-0 Mets. And it's a 2-10. A 2-10 is a line drive base hit, and Cabrera is going to stop at second. Yeah. First and second, Neil Walker. Neil Walker's another one we're keeping track of. And I know he will be lost soon to injury, but up to this point, he's batting .269. .269 with 13 home runs and 25 RBIs. He batted .282 with 23 home runs and 55 RBIs. So he's way ahead of schedule. Here's going to be the pitch from Nicasio. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the first. Runners on first and second is Neil Walker. 6-3. 6-3 is a fly ball right field X. The right fielder is going to be a 2. A 2-13, and that's an out, and the runners hold. So 1 away now, and it's going to be Conforto. Conforto only had 300 at-bats, so we're not keeping track on him, and it's 6-12 off Nicasio's card, and that's popped up to the left side. And shortstop Mercer makes the catch. 2 outs now. It's going to be Wilmer Flores. Wilmer Flores batted .267 with 300 at-bats. He had 16 home runs, 49 RBIs. Wilmer Flores, here's the pitch. 6-9, again off Nicasio's card. 6-9. It's a split die, and that ball is laced into the gap, and that's going to roll all the way to the wall, and it's going to roll, and it rolls away from McCutchen. And you have Wilmer, he's going to go for 3, and here's the relay, and he's safe under the tag. A 2-run triple for Flores. 2 RBIs for Wilmer, and the Mets lead it 3-0 now in the bottom of the first. And it's James Loney. And it's a 5-5. It's going to be off Nicasio's card, and that's a swing and a miss, strike 3 for the third out. Nicasio gets a strikeout. But Nicasio gives up 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. And 3 runs. And we go to the top of the second inning. Mets 3 and the Pirates nothing. All right, it's going to be David Freese. David Freese against Bartolo Colon. Big Sexy. Here's the pitch. It's off Colon's card, a 4-8, and that's a line drive base hit for Freese. It's going to be Matt Joyce. Say 1-3, and that's ball 4. Colon doesn't walk many, but he just walked Joyce. Runners on first and second, and nobody out here in the top of the second inning. Jody Mercer, the shortstop. Hey there, man. How are you, Jerry? Doing a little bit something different here today. Trying to keep everything in focus. Runners on first and second in the top of the second here at Shea Stadium. I'm sorry, Citi Field. We're playing the 2016 season. It's the Pirates at the Mets. And with runners, it's 3-0 Mets right now. And the Pirates have runners on first and second. Bartolo Colon is on the mound. Very, very effective pitcher in 2016 for the Mets. Had an off season last season. But I have a strong feeling he will be coming back this year. So it's Jody Mercer. Jody Mercer batted .256 with 11 home runs. And it's going to be off Mercer's card, a 2-11. And that's going to be a line drive base hit single. Freese comes home. And over to third goes Joyce. Runners on first and third now. And the score is 3-1. And Eric Krantz, the catcher, still nobody out, is on first and third and feels back for the Mets. It's going to be a 5-5. A 5-5 is a hard-hit ground ball right at the shortstop. Cabrera is a 2. We rolled an 11. This may be a double play. Let's see what happens. And it's a 6-4-3 double play. And Joyce scores the second run. But there's 2 outs now and nobody on. And it's going to be Nicasio, the pitcher, batting against Colon. Here's the pitch from Colon. A 3-7. A 3-7 is a ground ball chopped to Walker. Walker handles it easily for the third out. But the Pirates pick up 2 runs on 2 hits. And at the end of 2.5, it's, I'm sorry, 1.5, it's Pirates, it's Mets 3 and Pirates 2. So for the Mets, in the bottom of the second is going to be Rene Rivera, Bartolo Colon with his own pitcher hitting card. Go Pirates. Go Mets. All right. Here's Nicasio's pitch to Rene Rivera. Rene Rivera moved to the Cubs last year. It's going to be off Nicasio's card, 6-8. And that's going to be a split die, 15. And that's lined into the gap. And Rivera is going to hustle around first. He's going to go into second. And the throw, he's safe under the tag. Leadoff double for Rene Rivera. And we're going to have a bunt, a 5. And Bartolo squares. Runners advance 1 base. So that's a successful sacrifice by Colon. 1 out. And Rivera's on at third now. It's Curtis Granderson now. Curtis Granderson hit .237 with 30 home runs. And it's 4-10 off Nicasio's card, and that's a ground ball to the second baseman. Second baseman is Harrison, and he is a 2. We rolled a 4, and that's going to be an out. 3 runners. So runner moves to third. I'm sorry, Rivera was at third, so he's going to score. So that's an RBI ground out for Granderson. And the score is 4-2 now. And it's going to be Cabrera batting second. He batted .280 with 23 home runs, had a really good season in the first year he was with the Mets. The Mets signed him for a 2-year contract and then picked up his, I forget what they call it, but they extended his contract for this year, so they're keeping him. But now that he's more of a utility player, he plays second base, shortstop, and third base. 3-7, and that's a line drive base for Cabrera. That's his second hit of the game. Now, Cabrera did when he went from shortstop to second base, and he actually, when the press approached the night that it occurred in New York, and he was soon after that, he got comfortable at second base, and he realized that he was having a lot of fun, and he was welcomed by the fans in New York. They actually had a bobblehead day there, where and the bobblehead was one of which he hits a big home run at the end of the 2016 season to send him to the playoff, the one-game playoff against San Francisco, and he puts his arms up in the air, and that was a very famous home run. Well, the bobblehead had his arms up in the air, and it turns out that in that bobblehead day, he comes up in the 8th inning and hits the same kind of home run that puts the Mets up, and they end up winning the game. And on the big projection screen, you see the bobblehead with his hands up in the air. It was a little bit of life imitating art, or art imitating life. A little surreal. Okay, so it's going to be Cespedes. Cespedes singled his last time up and scored a run. There's 2 outs now, and Cabrera's on at first. Here's the pitch to Cespedes. It's going to be off Nicasio's card. A 5-5. A 5-5 is a strikeout. So that's the second strikeout and the third out of the inning. Second strikeout for Nicasio. And after 2 innings of play, it's going to be the Mets 4 and the Pirates 2. It's going to be Josh Harrison facing Bart Colon. Bart Colon is my favorite pitcher, just from years of watching him and being entertained by him. Had a lot of fun when he was in New York for 3 seasons. And he led the Mets in wins in those 3 seasons that he was there. They let him go last year to Atlanta, and he had a tough time of it. So here's going to be the leadoff batter, Josh Harrison. And Harrison grounded out in his first at bat. That's going to be off Colon, a 5-4. It's a ground ball to the shortstop, X. Shortstop is a 2 on an 18, and that's going to be an out. Nice play by Cabrera. Very sure-handed. Maybe not the range that he once had, but very, very short-handed. He's been in the league for about 10 years. Played with Cleveland most of his career. Mets picked him up in 2016 for the first year. It's going to be 6-11. That's a ground ball to the first baseman, James Loney. Takes it himself for the second out. Now it's going to be Andrew McCutchen, who singled in the first inning. Here's the pitch. It's off Colon's card, a 6-9, and that's going to be a split die, and that's going to be launched into the alley, and McCutchen's going to hustle into second base with a stand-up double. 2-out double for McCutchen. It's going to be Jung Ho Kang, and Kang, I know, had trouble getting back into the United States in 2017. He was, I believe, in South Korea because of a DWI, and they wouldn't let him leave the country. So he missed on the 2017 season, or came in very late. I can't remember which it was. But unusual story about Jung Ho Kang. And I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Here's the pitch to Kang. Kang had a good season, about a .255 with 21 home runs in only 318 at-bats. And that's going to be off Colon's card, a 5-3. That's going to be a ground ball to Loney. Loney's a pretty decent first baseman. Let's see what happens. A 15 on a... And that's one that gets away from Loney. And hustling over to third is going to be McCutchen. And Kang is on with an E by the first baseman. And it's going to be David Freese. David Freese singled and scored a run in the second inning. Here's the pitch from Cologne, and it's off Freese's card, a 3-4. A 3-4 is going to be a fly ball to center field, and backing up is the center fielder, Cespedes, and he's got it measured for the third out. So the Pirates leave two here in the top of the third inning and fail to score, and at the end of 2.5, it's the Mets 4 and the Pirates 2. Now, it's going to be Juan Nicasio pitching to Walker, Neil Walker. Neil Walker flied out to right field in his first at bat, so he's 0 for 1. Neil Walker batted .282 in 2016 with 23 home runs. Now, I got this started last year, and I actually stopped on June 15th when I traveled. So I haven't played this this replay since June 15th of last year. So I came back to it. I had to document all the stats again because my wife grabbed some index cards that I had and threw them out, and we just lost the power to our crowd, and we're gonna have to wait a couple of seconds. So it's gonna be kind of quiet. It's gonna be Neil Walker now. Here's the pitch from Nicasio, and it's gonna be a 4-5. 4-5 is a swing and a miss by Walker. He strikes out, and that's the third strikeout by Nicasio. One away. And it's going to be Michael Conforto. Michael Conforto had a hard time hitting lefties in 2016. They actually sent him down in 2017 to the minors. It's going to be 2-3 off of Conforto's card. He chops one to the second baseman, Harrison. Flips over to first for the second out. Conforto's 0 for 2. And Flores hit a 2-run triple in the first inning. Here's the pitch to Flores. It's going to be a 5-9. 5-9 is a swing and a miss, strike 3. And that's the fourth strikeout for Nicasio. Third out of the inning. And after 3 complete innings of play, it's 4-2. 4-2 Mets. Now I'm using a score sheet that I used last year, and I'm not really comfortable with it, and I'm going to switch. But I actually filled out 10 consecutive sheets with the 10 consecutive games. So I feel that I have to use this score sheet for 10 games, but I'm going to have to do something to it to fix it to make it easier to read. So Cologne is going to face Joyce, Mercer, and Kratz here in the top of the fourth inning. Here's the pitch from Cologne to Joyce, and it's going to be off Cologne's card, a 5-6, and that's a fly ball lifted to right field. And hustling towards the line is Granderson and makes a nice running catch for the first out. Jody Mercer, he singled in his last at bat, singled homer run as well. Got an RBI on that single. Here's the pitch. It's a 1-8, and that's a swing and a miss, strike 3 for the second out, and that's Cologne's second strikeout of the game. And with 2 outs here, it's going to be Erik Kratz. And it's going to be a 6-12, and that's a fly ball lifted to right. Again, Granderson is there. He measures it, and that's the third out. So 3 up, 3 down here in the fourth inning for Cologne, and we go to the bottom of the fourth. It's going to be Loney, Rivera, and Cologne for the Mets. It's going to be James Loney. Here's the pitch from Nicasio. It's going to be a 2-8. It's going to be a ground ball hit at the first baseman, Freese, takes it himself, unassisted. And Rivera's next. Rene Rivera, off Rivera's card, 2-6. That's a fly ball lifted to left. Joyce measures it 2 away. And now it's Colon. Colon has his own pitcher's hitting card with his name on it, 2-9. And that's a swing and a miss, strike 3. The 5th strikeout for Nicasio. And the 3rd out of the inning, 3 up, 3 down here in the bottom of the 4th inning. We go to the top of the 5th. And no score. I'm sorry, Mets 4 and Pirates 2. All right. We're going to have Nicasio batting against Colon in the top of the 5th inning. This will be a 1-10. A 1-10 is a swing and a miss, strike 3. So Colon notches his 3rd strikeout. 1 away now. We're going to try to leave Colon as long as we can. 4-8. It's going to be off Colon's card, 4-8. That's a line drive base hit for Harrison. Harrison's an A base stealer, and Harrison is going to go, and he's safe at second. And Gregory Polanco now with Harrison at second. Now Colon, yep, here's the pitch. It's 2-7. 2-7 is a ground ball to Loney. He takes it himself, and over to third goes Harrison, and that's the 2nd out. And it's going to be McCutchen. McCutchen is 2 for 2 on the day against Colon. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a 2-6 off McCutchen's card, and that's going to be a ground ball hit it right at Flores. Flores across the diamond and gets McCutchen by a step for the 3rd out. The Pirates leave 1 here in the top of the 5th. And we go to the bottom of the 5th now. It's going to be Granderson, Cabrera, and Cespedes for the Mets coming up. Nicasio is going to pitch to Granderson. Granderson's 1 for 2. He doubled leading off the game. Here's the pitch to Granderson. It's off Granderson's card, a 1-6. 1-6 is a ground ball to the first baseman, Freese. And he gathers it in, takes it himself. 1 away. And it's going to be Asdrubal. Asdrubal is 2 for 2, 2 singles. 6-5 off Nicasio's card, and that's a strikeout. And that's Nicasio's 6th strikeout. 2 outs now. And it's Cespedes. Cespedes is 1 for 2. He singled and then struck out. And it's 4-5. 4-5 is a swing and a miss, strike 3. 7th strikeout. 3rd out of the inning. And that's the end of the 5th. Still 4-2 Mets. So in the top of the 6th inning, it's going to be Kang, Freese, and Joyce facing Bartolo Colon, Big Sexy. Colon had 15 wins and a 3.43 ERA in 2016. 5-9 is going to be off Colon's card, and that's a fly ball that's hit deep to center field. Back goes the center fielder Cespedes to the track, to the fence. He looks up, and that's gone. Home run for Kang, Jung Ho Kang. It's a 4-3 game now here in the top of the 6th. And next is David Freese, who's 1 for 2. 4-3, top of the 6th inning. And it's a 2-5, and that's a line drive base hit for Freese. It's going to be action in the Met bullpen. Let's get that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits allowed by Colon. 1 home run. And freezes on at first is going to be Matt Joyce. Here's the pitch to Joyce. It's going to be a 3-7, a 3-7, and that's ball 4. And that's unusual because Colon doesn't walk many, but that's his second walk of the game. He has very good control. Nibbles at the corners with his fastball. And first and second is going to be Jody Mercer, and Jody Mercer is going to bunt, and that's going to be an 11. That's going to be a pop-up. And hustling to get it is Loney, and he's not going to be able to double anybody off, but it's a pop 3 and 1 out. And Mercer fails to move the runners over. It's going to be Eric Krantz now. Runners on first and second. It's 5-4. It's going to be off. It's a hard hit ball right at the shortstop Cabrera, but it's going to be a ball that Cabrera gets to, but keeps it in the infield. But the bases are loaded. Doesn't get a throw off, so that's going to be a single. So bases loaded now, and it's going to be Nicasio, the pitcher, here in the top of the 6th inning. Scores 4-3. Only 1 out, and the Pirates are going to let Nicasio bat, and it's going to be a 5-10. That's going to be off of Colon's card, and that's a catcher's card X. A 9. We're looking at a 9. The catcher is Rivera, who's a 2, 9, and it's popped up, and it looks like Rivera's calling for it, and he's got it for the second out. Base is still loaded now. That's going to be Josh Harrison against Bartolo Colon. It's a 43 game. That's her up here in the top of the 6th. Here's the pitch. It's going to be off Colon's card, a 5-8. And that's a fly ball lifted to deep center field. And back goes Cespedes. He's on the run and makes the catch. Beautiful catch by Cespedes. With the bases loaded, that saves at least 2 runs, if not 3. And Colon gets out of trouble. But the Pirates pick up 1 run on 1, 2, 3 hits. And at the end of 5.5, it's the Mets 4 and the Pirates 3. So Nicasio in the bottom of the 6th is going to face Neil Walker, who's 0 for 2, Conforto, who's 0 for 2, and then Flores, who's 1 for 2. Here's the pitch to Walker. It's off Nicasio's card, 6-8, and that's a ball that's lined into the alley, and hustling over to get it is McCutchen, and he's going to get it in quickly, and that's going to keep Walker at second base with a stand-up double. A lead-off double for Walker. It's Michael Conforto. Here's the pitch from Nicasio, 4-12, and that's a strikeout, swing and a miss. His 8th strikeout. 1 away. And it's Wilmer Flores. Wilmer Flores is 1 for 2. He tripled home 2 runs in the first inning. 5-8. 5-8 is a strikeout. Strikeout number 9. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits given up by Nicasio so far. And with 2 outs now, it's going to be James Loney. Now, James Loney batted .265 with 9 home runs. He was picked up as a free agent in 2016 by the Mets after Lucas Duda went down with an injury. They found themselves without a first baseman, and they went into the free agent market, and Loney was available. Here's a pitch to Loney from Nicasio, And it's a 5-4. It's a ground ball hit at the second baseman, Harrison. Harrison is a 2, and it's an X. We rolled a 14, and that's going to be a ball that Harrison gets to, and he flips to first for the third out. So the Mets leave a runner stranded at second base, and after 6 innings of play, it's Mets 4 and Pirates 3. We go to the top of the 7th now. In the top of the 7th for the Pirates is going to be Polanco, McCutchen, and Kang. Colon is still in the ball game for the Mets. If we look on the, actually, if we look on his advanced side, you can see how long he's usually a starter, 6. So I think 6 is all he generally goes. I'm pushing him to the limit here, going 7. So probably won't see much more of him, and he comes to bat in the next inning, so we'll probably pull him for a pinch hitter. Trying to get him to go through this inning. Try to keep this somewhat realistic. We are using the actual lineups, but I am limiting the pitching changes somewhat and the pinch hitting appearances somewhat, just because of the issue of the scorekeeping. Trying to keep the game flowing. 111, and that's a pop-up to the right side. And that second baseman Walker calls everybody off and makes the catch, 1 away. So 1 out here in the top of the 7th. So Colon is kind of coasting so far. Let's see if we don't jinx it. 2-3, and that's a fly ball lifted to left field. Left fielder for the Mets, Conforto, he measures it, and that's 2 away now. And it's going to be Kang. Kang hit a home run, a solo shot in the 6th inning to make the score 4-3. And he's 1 for 3 on the day. South Korean ball player. And it's going to be off Kang's card, a 1-10. And that's a fly ball hit to deep center field. Back goes Cespedes to the track and makes the catch. Beautiful catch by Cespedes for the third out. And that's 3 up, 3 down here in the top of the 7th. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It's going to be the bottom of the order, Rivera, Colon, and Granderson against Nicasio. Now Nicasio, let's see what Nicasio does. He is also a 5-inning guy, so we should be pulling him already. Let's see who we got here. I actually write down the relief pitchers who came into these games, and I pull them from the cards. So Schugel was in this game. A.J. Schugel. So he's a pretty decent player. 2-2 with a 3.63 ERA in 52 innings pitched. So he's going to come in, and he's going to be pitching. So let's color him in here. He's going to be pink. Schugel's going to face Rivera. Probably a pinch hitter for Colon and Granderson. Let's get the we should get the sound back on now. Nope, not yet. Oh, you know why? Because it's not plugged in. So it hasn't been charging at all this whole time. All right. At least we got our camera that's working. So that's it for Nicasio. Now Nicasio gives up 4 runs, and he goes 6 innings. Gives up 7 hits, 4 runs. Walks none, strikes out 9. So that's a decent outing, relatively speaking. I guess I don't know what decent means in 2016, right? Not what decent was in the past. So anyway, okay, let's. It's going to be Rene Rivera, the catcher, against A.J. Schugel. Here's the pitch. It's 6-5. 6-5 is going to be off Schugel, and that's a strikeout. Rivera goes down on strikes. 1 away now. And Bart Colon, let's see if we can get Bart Colon to go 1 more inning. Let's squeeze 1 more inning out of Bart. so we don't have to pull a pinch hitter here and do all that extra paperwork. It's a 6-7, and that's going to be a swing and a miss, strike 3 for 2 outs now. Second strikeout for Schugel. And it's going to be Granderson, Curtis Granderson. Here's a pitch to Granderson. It's off Schugel's card, a 6-7. That's a swing and a miss, strike 3. So Schugel comes in and strikes out the side. And that is the bottom of the 7th. So we go to the top of the 8th inning now. 4-3 Mets. It's going to be David Freese. David Freese is 2 for 3 on the day against Bart Colon, Big Sexy. Giving the Mets some innings. It's going to be 5-9. 5-9 is going to be a ball that's driven to deep center field, and back goes Cespedes to the track, to the wall, and that ball is gone. Leadoff home run for David Freese, and ties up the game at 4 apiece. And that looks like it's going to be all for Colon. Colon is going to get pulled in a tie game. And in this game, Jerry Blevins pitched. And we're going to get Blevins to come in because I actually like him. He's a lefty. And I don't know who the next batter is, but it really doesn't matter to me. So Jerry Blevins is going to try to go get 1 inning. And Blevins is going to be in yellow. Score is tied now. Hopefully these are the only 2 relief pitchers I have to bring in this game. All right, it's going to be Matt Joyce. Matt Joyce has moved around a little bit. I don't think he's with the Pirates anymore. I'm not sure if there are any Pirate fans out there if they know. But it's 4-4 now. Here in the top of the 8th inning. And the Pirates just tied it up on a home run by David Freese. He was a World Series hero in, I forget, 2014 was it? Let's get the pitch to Joyce. Here's Blevins. And it's a 6-9. And that's a strikeout. Gets Joyce to go chasing that curveball. 1 out now. Top of the 8th inning. Jody Mercer. Jody Mercer is 1 for 3. And it's going to be 4-8. 4-8 is a walk, ball 4 to Mercer. So Mercer's on at first. Eric Kratz. And it's going to be a 4-3. A 4-3 is a ground ball hit right at the first baseman for the Mets, who's Loney, and he's a 3, and we rolled a 6. A 6 is going to be a ground ball that's flipped to the pitcher, and over to second goes Mercer. 2 outs, and it's going to be Schugel. But we're going to see a pinch hitter for Schugel. And we're going to need another, we're going to bring in Feliz. Feliz to pitch. Hey there, guy. Glad to have you back. We're looking for Feliz here. Feliz. There he is, Natali Feliz. And as a pinch hitter, we're going to have Sean Rodriguez. Love Sean Rodriguez. Plays all these positions, utility. I love utility guys. And Sean Rodriguez is going to pinch hit for Schugel. So we're going to do that. Sean for Schugel, top 8. And here's the pitch to Rodriguez. Sean Rod. Okay, here's the pitch from Blevins. And it's a 6-9. It's going to be off of Blevins' card, and that's a swing and a miss, strike 3 for out number 3. And the Pirates lead 1 run on at second base. And at the end of 7.5, it's the Mets 4 and the Pirates 4. All right. It's going to be Feliz pitching now. Going to have to pencil him in, color him in, do the whole spiel. Neftali Feliz. Now we're going to make him green. He's going to be the green guy. Color in the boxes, so we know exactly what's what. So he's going to pitch to at least 3 batters for sure. And next inning, we're going to see. I don't know. We're going to see somebody. It's not going to be Blevins. Blevins never goes more than 1 inning. We'll see who we're going to bring in, either Reed or Familia, depending on the situation. So it's going to be Cabrera, Cespedes, and Walker. Cabrera's 2 for 3 on the day with an RBI single in the first. Cespedes is 1 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a single. And then Walker is 1 for 3 with a double in the 6th inning. So here in the bottom of the 8th inning, it's going to be Neftali Feliz on the mound for the Pittsburgh Pirates. We're playing at Citi Field in New York, in Flushing, Queens, New York. You can see LaGuardia Airport from here. Here's the pitch to Cabrera. It's going to be off Cabrera's card, a 3-8, and that's line base hit for Cabrera. And the right fielder, Polanco, gets it in quickly. So Cabrera's on at first, and it's going to be Cespedes. Cespedes has some power, batted .280 with 31 home runs and 479 at-bats. So he's got home runs on 4, 5, and 6 on his card here. Here's the pitch from Feliz. It's going to be off Feliz's card, a 6-7, and that's a swing and a miss. And that's Feliz's first K. First out of the inning. So it's going to be Walker. Walker's 1 for 3. He doubled his last at bat. Here's the pitch to Walker. Again, it's off of Feliz's card, a 6-7, and that's a swing and a miss for the second strikeout and the second out of the inning. And it's going to be Michael Conforto. Here's the pitch. Conforto's 0 for 3 on the day. And it's off Feliz's card, a 4-7 this time. A 4-7 is ball 4. So Michael Conforto draws a walk, and it puts the go-ahead run, Cabrera, on at second base, and it's going to be Wilmer Flores. Wilmer Flores is a utility guy that has some pop in his bat. Batted .267 with 16 home runs in 300 at-bats. So had he had 600 at-bats, he may have hit 32 home runs. So his card represents that. If you look at his column 1, he has home runs on 8 and 9. So here's the pitch from Feliz, and it is off of Wilmer's card, but not the 1 column, it's the 2 column, and it's going to be a 7, and that's a ground ball hit right at the third baseman, Kang, who goes over to second for the force. And the 3rd out. The Mets leave 2 here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and the score is still tied. So it's going to be Reed in the top of the 9th against the Pirates. Let's find Reed now. See how long that takes us. There's like 50 cards here. Strat comes out with a lot of cards now, especially with all the movement of players. They have a player card with one team and another team. So Addison Reed is going to be pitching for the Mets, and he's going to face. He had 4 wins with a 1.97 ERA in 78 innings pitched. So he's a pretty good pitcher with only 4 home runs allowed. So he's a guy that the Mets want pitching right now. And it's going to be Josh Harrison. And it's going to be 2-6, 2-6, and that ball is swung and missed. Strike 3, 1 away. First strikeout for Reed. Blevins won an inning, and he walked a batter. Struck out 2. So it's going to be Gregory Polanco. Polanco is 0 for 4 on the day. Polanco batted .258 with 22 home runs in 527 at-bats. And that's off of Addison Reed's card, and that's a 6-11, and that's a ground ball that goes right to Loney, and Loney flips to Reed covering for the second out. And now it's McCutchen. McCutchen is 2 for 4. He singled and doubled, grounded out and flied out. And he batted .256 with 24 home runs in 2016. Here's the pitch. And it's off Reed's card, a 6-5, and that's a swing and miss, strike 3. The second strikeout for Reed and the third out of the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 9th now. Bottom of the 9th is still 4-4. And in the bottom of the 9th is going to be Feliz, who's still pitching. Let's see what Feliz ever went more than... Feliz is a 1. And that's when we run into problems. So we're going to have to bring in a new pitcher here. Let's see if we can get the blue color. Yeah. It's going to be a new pitcher. It's going to be Hughes. Hughes is going to go to Loney, Rivera, and Reed. Probably going to see a pinch hitter for Reed. So let's bring in Hughes. See who that is. I have no idea who that is. Someone, you have a huge mountain of cards here. I bet you. Oh, Jared Hughes. Okay, he was with Pittsburgh. Yeah, let's look at his card. Jared Hughes is 1 victory, a 3.03 ERA in 59 innings pitched. He allowed 6 home runs. He's going to replace Feliz. We may see a double switch. Let's take a quick look. No, he doesn't bat for a while. So you have Feliz, and now we have Hughes. And Hughes is going to be in blue. So this is walk-off territory for the Mets. So hopefully that happens and we finish up with this game. It's a great game, but it's time. Let's see, James Loney. Here's the pitch to Loney. It's going to be off of Hughes' card, a 4-column 7, and that ball is lifted over the shortstop's head for a base hit. So Loney goes the other way, singles, and Loney's on at first. Not much of a runner. He's 1-8 on the base pass. And it's going to be Rene Rivera. Rene Rivera hit .222 with 6 home runs. And we're gonna bat away. It's gonna be 2-7. 2-7 is a swing and a miss, strike 3. So that's the first strikeout for Hughes. 1 out now. It's gonna be the pitcher spot. And we're going to see Lagares. We could bring who pinch hit for the Mets. Johnson. Mets have a player named Johnson. He's a utility infielder. Kelly Johnson. He played with Atlanta, played with the Yankees, but he's with the Mets at this point in the game, this point in the season, and he's going to bat. So it's going to be Johnson. And he's got some decent power. Johnson for Reed in the bottom of the 9th. See what happens here. Kelly Johnson batted .247 with 10 home runs and 300 at-bats. He's got a little power. He's got a home run split die on 6, which is a little bit of power. Here's a pitch from Hughes. and it's going to be a two-column 6, and that's a split die, and that ball is lifted to deep center field. Back goes the center fielder McCutchen to the track, to the fence. He looks up, and that's gone. 2-run home run walk-off by pinch hitter Kelly Johnson here in the bottom of the 9th inning at Citi Field, and the crowd goes wild. Let's see if we can get that crowd going wild. There they are. You can hear them. The Mets fans here at Shea love that for sure. A 2-run walk-off home run. And the final score is Mets win it by a final score of 6-4. The victory goes to Reed. And the loss goes to Jared Hughes. And now the Mets are... I'm keeping their record. They're 35-30. 65 games into the season. Yeah, what a great game, huh? And it was right at the right time, 55-minute mark. Johnson pinch hit for the pitcher, right? Reed, and he got a hold of one, sent it over into the apple in center field, the Big Apple. And with a walk-off, and he was mugged, right, at home plate. Very close game, 6-4, modern game. I had, as you can see, I had a lot of pitching changes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pitching changes, a couple of, and this is your typical, game in the modern era because of so much power. And the ineffectiveness of the pitchers. They walk a couple of guys, they give up a home run, boom, you're down 3 runs. So that happens a lot. So, I run out of energy running these games, but I was in the mood to come back to it, to continue something that started last year. And the Mets now, I'm keeping track of 4 players, the stats for 4 players, and I'll talk about them every game. I'm doing Granderson, Cabrera, Cespedes, and Walker. And that's it here, reporting or broadcasting from Citi Field in New York and Flushing, Queens. It's Combat Painters Tabletop Baseball channel, replaying the Mets season of 2016. And Stratomatic has a 25% off sale right now. So I'm going to be ordering the 1969 season, which is, one of the greatest baseball seasons ever. At least for the Mets and just for the National League East in general, the Cubs, the Expos, have great records, and it's known as the year that the Cubs fell apart. Yeah, you have 69. Yeah, it's a great season, man. I love it. I actually have it in APBA. And I was thinking of running like a Seaver replay using APBA, which I've done that with the History Maker. And, or I don't know, planning something with the 69 season. Oh, yeah. So I have the 69 season in History Maker and APBA. I'm going to get it now in Strat. And I don't have it in Status Pro. Simply because Status Pro has... a base run chart and a couple other charts like a BD chart and a couple other things that kind of get me all kind of muddled, for lack of a better word. It's just the mechanics of the game just kind of, I don't know, they just don't work well with me. Yeah. But anyway, great season. 69 is a fun season for sure. And I'm going to get 69, Strat 69, and play it with the basic Strat. I know guys love the advanced. There's a lot of guys out there doing the advanced stuff. But, and I did the not the super advanced, but I did do the advanced. I did the park, I used the park chart, and I used a couple other things, the righty-lefty stuff. And I liked it, and it was fine, but I think I just kind of want to have more fun with it. and I just backed up a little bit and said, let me do basic, and it works out just as good. Um, that's it. That's it for tonight. I'm going to sign off now, and I'm going to take a look at. Yeah, that's great. I mean, I know a lot of guys love advanced. Advanced, I had a lot of fun with advanced. I really like, because I was really missing when I was playing the basic. I felt like, hey, let me look at advanced, and it was so simple to just, move into advanced, and it was great. Um, but it's like a bunch of extra stuff, and I just find right now that I'm fine with basic, but I really like advanced. Now, super advanced is something I have to look into. I don't know if I'm going to be doing that yet. I may do that at some point. I may have to watch like a tutorial. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've seen guys do it. There's a lot of dice rolls and dice rolls and dice rolls, which is great for realism. But, how much realism are you looking for, really? Ultimately, you're rolling dice on a tabletop. Just having fun with baseball a little bit and watching guys come up here and hit walk-off two-run home runs. I think that's a lot of fun. So, anyway, I'll talk to you soon. All right, and signing off, Combat Painter. And Mets win it 6-4 against the Pirates. The next game is June 17th, game 66. This was game 65, I believe. I think I wrote 64. I got to change that. It's June 17th. It's the Braves at Citi Field. It's going to be, I'll tell you who the pitchers are. It's going to be Matt Harvey against, let me see, against a guy named Gant for the Braves. Gant versus Harvey, 2016, June 17th at Citi Field. And that'll be either tonight or tomorrow. Probably I'm going to go rest right now. Take care. See you later.